Welcome in to another episode of the Blue Coats Beat on DE-TV, an inside look at the Delaware Blue Coats on the court, in the community, featuring special guests throughout the year. The Blue Coats, of course, the NBA G League affiliate of the Philadelphia 76ers. I'm Matt Murphy with my partner, the ambassador of basketball for the Blue Coats, Joe Richmond.
Sure.
And we've got a special guest today,
sir.
76ers two-way contract player, Marial Shayok.
Yes,
and Joe,
sir, the sniper.
The sniper,
In the
23 points a game, top 5 in the G League. Plenty to talk about with Marial. And Joe, we usually start with community stuff. That's going to be the back end of the show today. A little bit of an update on our books and basketball program, as well as the upcoming schedule.
Let's get right into
we
this.
got to get right into it with Mar here, because there's so much going on with this team, with this Blue Coats team. But more importantly, giving you a peek behind the curtain, his upbringing, his background in the sport, a little bit on his family and all that. So the 54th pick in the 2019 draft, finished your career at Iowa State, obviously. I'm telling you this like you don't know, but 3 years at Virginia for Marial and finished his career at Iowa State. Now you're in Delaware. So what's the adjustment to the pro basketball lifestyle been like on the court, in the community, as you navigate the two-way contract between Delaware and Philly?
I mean, it's been great. Obviously my first year, so I'm just trying to soak it all in. Just take it a day at a time, but it's been great. Everyone's been really confident on both teams and both organizations, the Sixers and the Blue Coats. So it's been wonderful so far.
I know Joe wants to ask about Canada. You're from Ottawa, and you were the first player drafted from Ottawa in NBA history. We'll get there in just a minute. But with that in mind, whenever you talk about the adjustment to the pro game, a lot of guys say the speed of the game is the biggest thing. Is that what you've noticed as well?
I would say more the spacing. The spacing has been a lot different from college. I feel like it's a lot more packed in college. So me being a scorer, I've noticed this, the spacing and having guys guarding me with a lot more space has been definitely easier.
Joe, we talk about the global game, basketball.
Yes, sir.
Ottawa native Marial Shayok.
Man, you know, I love Canada. You know what I mean? So I've been all through there. You know, Toronto probably one of the cleanest places in all the world. Right. But, you know, I'm just kind of curious, though. You from Ottawa. How you ain't getting to all that hockey and stuff, man? How you know, your footwork is like impeccable when you're out there on the court. Right. It looked like it would translate from hockey to here, but you know what I mean? I'm just like how you get out of that? Like, I thought everybody just was thrown in there.
No, that's not what it seems. I feel like, especially my family, growing up in a basketball family, my dad played basketball.
Your dad, like, what, 6'8"?
Yeah, 6'8". And
yes.
My siblings played ball, so I pretty much was born a basketball player, and then the people I grew around with in my neighborhood were all basketball fans, so it's just been basketball my whole life.
That's amazing, man. That's amazing.
Sister played at Detroit Mercy. You had a brother that played at Bradley, and your father played at the University of Dayton. Did he play for Jim O'Brien at Dayton? So Jim O'Brien, currently a special advisor to Brett Brown with the Sixers, former Sixers assistant coach and head coach as well. So have you talked to Coach O'Brien about that?
Yeah. I mean, when I first got there, he sat me down. We had a little quick lunch together, and he just talked about how my family's doing and how I'm doing, and it was great.
What was it like growing up in that basketball family with all your siblings and your dad as well as a college player?
I mean, it was perfect. I mean, everything we did was basketball. I went to go watch my sister's games, my brother's games growing up, and when we were at home chilling, we'd watch basketball. It was just all basketball. So
and who was the better player? I'm going to throw it out there. Who was the best? Let's throw it. We're going to hit it on record.
Don't put him on the spot.
Like the Miller family.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm always say me. And my brother was playing, my sister was playing. They would say themselves too. So that's just a competitive spirit.
That's what's up.
Dayton's good this year as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we mentioned the University of Dayton, top 10 in the country for the first time since the late 60s. But this is a Blue Coat show, so we'll keep it on Marial's background.
He's a Virginia dude, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Virginia, and then Iowa State, of course. How does the Manute Bol connection factor into your background?
I mean, I think it impacts my dad more than myself. He was a big influence on my dad and him playing basketball. So, I mean, it trickles down to me, obviously. So my dad moved to the States and eventually moved to Canada. So that's where it kind of comes in.
And in college, 3 years, Virginia for the 5th time, we'll say it, and then Iowa State. We asked Trevor Cooney this because he's a Syracuse guy when he was on the show a few episodes ago. Memorable games and memorable individual opponents from your college days. I know before we've talked about you actually played at the center in Philadelphia where the Sixers play against Villanova. So what were some of your memorable games in college and maybe some specific opponents as well that you matched up with?
I mean, that was a memorable game because they were number 1 at the time. And they beat us on a tip-in buzzer beater.
Delaware native Dante DiVincenzo tipped it in.
He hit it in.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, a bunch. Playing the ACC and the Big 12. He played all the big schools like Duke, UNC, Kansas. Playing in all those games were always fun. I think, I mean, last year playing at Kansas was pretty cool. We lost, even though we lost, it was a pretty good game, and obviously playing them in the Big 12 tournament and winning at that time was pretty good too.
Joe, he's got the March Madness hat on. Another guy that we've had on the show with big-time college basketball experience.
But you got to agree, this year it's open for anybody.
Right.
This is really like an open March Madness. I can't wait till the field come out. But it's like any day of the week, anybody could be number 1. What do you think?
I wouldn't say there isn't a dominant team. I haven't watched as much college ball, but yeah, I mean, just whoever gets hot, gets lucky, and stays healthy, I guess, going to win.
Right. We're recording this early February, and I know Baylor, being a Big 12 team, they're the team to beat right now in the rankings. What was it like playing against Baylor, and are you surprised at how well they've been doing this year?
It was always fun playing against them because they had very big, aggressive wings that would guard me, and we lost to them both times in the season and beat them in the Big 12 tournament. So it was always fun playing those guys. They really brought the best out of me for sure.
So playing with your sister, your dad is big, your brother big, because you're not really like a big dude, but you get anywhere on the court that you want to.
Don't insult the man, Joe.
No, he's not though, but he's like deceptively strong, because you watch him when he hold off guys and make moves. Like, did that come from playing against your brothers and them and from your family?
That's really just from playing outside, playing against older guys my whole life. You got to figure out ways to maneuver around people, and then that's where you use the footwork and the quick first steps and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's nice to see him. Love his game.
Let's bring it back to Marial's rookie year, your rookie year so far as a pro on the two-way with the Sixers and the Delaware Bluecoats, of course. What does this year kind of represent in your basketball journey?
I mean, just another step. I think I've had a unique journey from going to Canada to States in high school and the 2 schools in college. I think this year I was really trying to approach it as a learning experience, to take it a day at a time and continue to grow every day and just try to win today.
Right, and speaking of that, you bring up your high school career. We skipped ahead to college a little bit. You came down and played in New Jersey as well, right?
Right.
So how was that experience, prep ball?
I mean, it was crazy just leaving home at like 15 and living in a boarding school. I think it really prepared me for college because the atmosphere and the class schedule was a lot like college, and so I really got to mature early.
And then in terms of the Sixers, of course, being a two-way, you spent a lot of time around the Sixers as well. So a lot of young players in this organization talk about the influence of certain players. You get Tobias Harris a lot, and I think you've mentioned his name before as well. So who are some of the Sixers who have had an influence on you and given you some advice so far navigating this rookie year?
Like you said, like Tobias has always been big. Similar positions, similar sort of playing styles, him being a scorer. Really someone I look up to. Josh, another wing who's, he was a second-round pick too, and seeing him from where he came from, Tennessee, to where he is now is also someone else I look up to.
There's plenty of guys, Joe, with the Sixers that they can look up to.
But for me, I like, when you're out talking in the barbershops and different things, guys always want to know, what's that mindset? Like, you with the blue coat, you go to the Sixers, you go see this guy, that guy. What's your mindset? How do you get prepared? And how does it feel just to make the transition now, knowing that, okay, I'm here, I dropped 30 here last night, but then I go to the Sixers, you know what I mean? I know I'm not going to get that. How's that mindset for you? How do you stay focused?
Again, like, you got to just take it a day at a time and just be a sponge and really just embrace the moment. Really try to stay present, not really look ahead, because you never know what the future holds, especially for me, not knowing what team I'm going to be on.
Right.
So when I'm with the Bluecoats, I try to just take advantage of my opportunity and just try to dominate as much as I can. And when I'm with the Sixers, just be ready, just stay ready and soak in and learn as much as I can from the veterans.
Yeah, keep that, because you dominating over here, baby.
Well, to the point of development and current Sixers, Shake Milton, also the number 54 overall pick in the draft. He's actually, as we record this on February 3rd, he's on a streak of 3 consecutive double-figure scoring games for the Sixers. He had sandwiched in there a 27-point career high game for the Sixers. So he was on a two-way last year with the Bluecoats, played 27 games in Delaware, and now he's doing his thing at the NBA level. But as we wind down the show, we'll bring it back. It's anytime you're on a basketball show, towards the end, at the buzzer is always the easy way to title something where you have a little fun and you ask some questions. They're not quite rapid fire, but Joe and I just want to mix it up a little bit and have some fun. So I'm going to start with sneakers, because you're a guy who has a lot of sneakers in your locker, some really nice, clean-looking sneakers. And if fans, Bluecoats and Sixers fans, tune in, they'll see all white sometimes, they'll see all black. You have some white and blue sneakers. So how do you decide what you're going to wear, when you're going to wear it, home, away, things like that?
I just try to, I always have the Kyrie 3s on me. Those are the shoes that I love to play in most. And they have a bunch of colorways, and honestly, just depending on how I'm feeling. The white jerseys, I might go with the white shoes. I got the blue jerseys, I might go with the black shoes, and then just try to switch it up.
But I saw recently, I don't know if it was around the holidays, you got a bunch of white and blue colorways in.
Right.
But when you're on the road with those white Bluecoat jerseys with the blue horse, the all white looks super clean.
Yeah, for sure. And then I got into some red ones at one time, just like to switch it up a little bit.
Joe, what are your thoughts on the current shoe game situation in the pros?
Well, you know, I'm not into the shoe game. I'm like when I played, I know I used to get zoned in, but I want to know what's your go-to music when you're getting ready to get zoned in, because I know you was listening to the music being played here right now. So what's your go-to?
Beats. Honestly, before the game, like when I'm preparing myself to get in that zone, I like to listen to like a lot of Afro beats, a lot of reggae, just to calm my nerves and just really just lock in. And but like around shoot-around time and when I'm warming up, I like all the rap and hip-hop stuff like that. So
Okay,
yeah.
that's what's up.
Let's wrap it up with a game day and a non-game day. What does a day in the life of Marial Shayok look like on both game days and non-game days alike, or off days, as you might say?
Game days, I'm gonna get up, go to shoot-around, try to make me a quick like a bagel or something before I go to shoot-around, come back, make me some like real breakfast like eggs and bacon and stuff like that, and I'll get some treatment, I'll take a nap, get a shower in, and start getting ready for the game, start zoning in, and then like an off day, like for instance, I had an off day yesterday. Man, I'm just getting up, getting some breakfast, just chilling, watching shows, watching movies, watching basketball, just relaxing.
What are you watching right now? Any shows in particular?
I just finished Power.
Okay.
I like a lot of shows. I watch You on Netflix. Snowfall, Law and Order, a bunch of stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm a Law and Order dude too. I'm a Criminal Intent dude.
Yeah. Watching Dexter actually.
Nice.
Show Dexter, yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Sounds good. Sounds
Yes,
like your
sir.
day, Joe, doesn't it?
Oh yeah. I just be chillaxing, bacon and eggs. No, I don't know all that stuff.
All right, well, that's about going to do it. Before we get out of here, though, let's give an update on Coats in the community and then talk about the schedule a little bit, too. Books and Basketball, our children's literacy program with the Bluecoats, still rolling, still going strong.
Man, we had a great time. Friday passed, man. We was at Shortledge Elementary, and the kids were amazing. The auditorium was packed. Shout out to my boy, Aris Watson. Cody was in the building, and you know when Cody in the building, it's a shutdown type of day. The dance-off was amazing. As always, Cody won the dance-off. I don't care what y'all say over there at Shortledge. Cody, best dance mascot in the whole G League. But you know what? To give the kids the books, to watch their eyes and their faces light up when they receive their book, and they know that that's what we're really there for, and to watch the teachers respond and take us, and just having us in their facility and just giving us the opportunity to bring our program. That's what we really love as far as being the Bluecoats and getting out here in this community. And we're looking forward to doing so many more. You know, we're on Black History Month, so we got a lot of great books and basketball lined up, and we'll get with that in the next show.
Upcoming home games for the Bluecoats, February 13th. It's a Thursday against the Stockton Kings at 7 p.m. Esports night featuring 76ers Gaming Club. Also a $1 dog night. Ticket information, Sixers.com/Bluecoats.
Like
Kings two-way player, your guy, Kyle Guy. So who knows, maybe he'll be in Wilmington that night depending on how the Kings rotation shakes out. But that's going to do it. Mar, thanks so much for giving us some time today on the Bluecoats Beat on DETV. That will just about do things for us on this episode. For 76ers two-way player Marial Shayok and my partner Joe Richmond and our entire DETV crew, including Ivan Thomas and Dennis Pritchett, I'm Matt Murphy, and we will talk to you next time here on the Bluecoats Beat on DETV.
Ow!